You're listening to Teacakes on the Sis podcast, sharing little bites of life. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. This is Sister Kofar, trying to drive in my car and do so many things at one time. I have been way behind in anything with the podcast. If you listen on YouTube, it's even super behind because I haven't uploaded the last 2 episodes, I think. That's okay. Today, what I wanted to talk about, as it is Ramadan, I want to talk about being strong and what being strong actually means. Being strong doesn't mean you don't have pain, and it doesn't mean that you're always right or you always come out on top. Unfortunately, that's the truth of it. Being strong can be you push through something and you survived. In a lot of cases, there's people I have seen who have been through everything to hell and back again, basically, for lack of better words. And people are like, oh, they're so strong, they're so strong. But what they're not seeing is the nights that person is just exhausted and probably crying themselves to sleep for weeks and weeks and not feeling strong, just feeling like so much pain. And that can be physical pain if you're somebody who's trying to train for a marathon and you have so much progress to make. It's a lot of hard work. Or you're somebody who's going through something mental or maybe even emotional. That's a thing that in previous, I would say previous generations really didn't consider that as much with emotional or spiritual. Whereas now we're seeing more just because the conversations are opened up more. Like it's much easier to say, hey, I'm having a really hard time with emotions. So for example, right now, what I'm going through with life, and I'm struggling with grief. I was raised in a culture where men had to be strong and they don't show emotions. And women could be emotional, but they still had to put themselves together. At the end of the day, you were limited on how long you could grieve over something. And what I saw in my life most of the time was people trying to stay strong and to look strong. They thought that they had to do that. And in order to look strong or be strong for other people meant you didn't show emotions. You didn't show the grief. You just pushed through and kept going on another day. And so when I got older, it was really weird when I would meet somebody who's like, hey, my dog died, I'm not coming to work today. And to me, that baffled me. Like, you're supposed to suck it up and move forward and go on through it. But the reality is they're going through pain, and that doesn't make them a weak person because they need to take time to grieve. That, in fact, gives that person strength because they're taking the time to grieve, as they should, over something that's painful, something that hurts. Because when you have an injury of some sort, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it is, you have to heal. And healing takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And everybody has a different rate of healing, okay? Everybody's body is built differently. Everybody's mind and their heart, they're all different levels. And that doesn't mean you're a weak person if it takes you longer. Not at all. What matters is that you are taking the time that you need to have a full recovery, or at least recover enough that you're able to move forward without causing further damage. Because anybody knows if you have a broken leg, walking on that broken leg is only going to make it worse. It does not make you strong. It does not make you tough. It does not make you a better person or cooler or more awesome or whatever you want to say about it. They're going to tell you, hey, first of all, stop walking on it. And second of all, go see a doctor. Go see a professional who specializes in being able to care and give treatment for somebody, and then follow their instructions for healing. If you have to have medicine for the pain, you have to have medicine for the pain. It just depends on how severe it is for a person. So if this is how we're going to handle a physical injury, why do we not also apply that to mental, emotional? Because we should. You have mental health care professionals, you have psychiatrists, psychologists, you have therapists, you have social workers. I mean, you have all different kinds of people to help you for whatever it is that you're going through. Does it cost money? In a lot of situations, it does, but not always. Sometimes we have a friend or somebody in the community that we look up to for advice, and maybe you just need someone to listen to you, and that's going to help you through your process of healing. Maybe. But what's important is that you are taking the time to take care of yourself, to allow yourself to heal, to allow yourself to grieve through things. This is something that I'm working on right now. It's hard, allowing myself to process, to deal with grief. There's people in my life who have passed more than a year ago, and I'm still trying to understand how to grieve and move on with my life without, I mean, it's okay to be sad, but I can't let it keep me from functioning the way that I need to be functioning, from doing what I need to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Like, I have to allow myself to have emotions, allow myself to process it, okay, and go through my day. And it seems like such a simple concept, and I teach children this all the time. This is something I work on with children, but I'm learning from them, watching them go through it, and me teaching them. They say, if you really want to learn something, you have to teach it. So I'm really seeing it helping, because I teach second graders, and we're teaching them emotional regulation. And it's remarkable how kids are able to learn this. They're able to handle it, and I'm learning from them. I really am, to be able to process and go through and figure out your way that you need to grieve and what is going to be the healthiest for you. And if you don't know if what you're doing is healthy or not, seek the advice of somebody else. Because one person might be like, hey, I see where you're going with this, but there's a healthier way to handle it, or there's another way to handle it. Sometimes talking it through is all somebody needs. And sometimes just sitting and crying it out is what somebody needs. When I have bad days and I'm emotional and I'm crying over something, probably simple maybe. Well, I do cry over a lot of simple things when I'm having a lot of hormonal fluctuations. And I've told people in the past, because I did recognize this about myself, and I'm trying to really take care of myself in this sense, is sometimes when I have a problem that is a simple solution, my solution is just to cry about it and get it out of my system and then move forward. I don't need, let me take someone's advice and do this step, X, Y, Z. Sometimes my solution is just cry about it and then I'm fine. But I have to allow myself to process and to go through that. So I hope you learned something from this, and maybe you can do some self-reflection and look at what it means to be strong, how you become strong, and how you become resilient and to be able to move forward and know that it is okay to feel weak. It is okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. But we have to deal with it. We have to process it and feel it, but not allow it to control our lives or keep us from moving forward and going to the next day and going to the next day. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.